And in recent years, the United States seems subject to a near constant barrage of school shootings and gun violence, yet little to no legislation has been attempted to address this issue. Contrast that to Australia, where after a shooting massacre in the late 90s, the country took massive action. So our very own Tyrel, Ventura, and Tabetha Wallace went to Australia to investigate. For more on this, let's join them now. Tyrel, Ventura, and Tabetha.
In the historic town of Port Arthur, Tasmania, forever changed the course of history here in Australia.
The 35 souls lost their lives to a gunman's madness.
The massacre was the catalyst for the Australian government to enact massive and sweeping changes to their laws regarding the ownership, buying, and selling of firearms.
Maybe it's time for the United States to start looking outward for help.
All right, and we have them here. Joining us now, Tyrel, Ventura, and Tabetha Wallace. All right, guys, you went on this crazy week-long expedition down under. Tell us about your special and your biggest takeaway from what you had to explore on this topic.
Well, I think one of the biggest things we discovered was the cultural difference in how they look at guns there in Australia as opposed to we do here. And the Port Arthur massacre in 1996 was really changed that culture and took them in a different direction. But what they're going through now is a lot of the same issues with policing and guns that we didn't realize till we got there and discovered a whole nother layer to the gun debate in Australia, where they're lauded, but...
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing that really shocked me walking away, was that while they did get harder on their gun control there, we ended up discovering these multiple layers that you'll see in the special that really no one talks about in the gun control controversy, that no one wants to go that deep. They keep it just at the police level or, you know, the wild shooter level, but they don't get deeper of, like, the bigger picture of violence and guns and who makes those guns and how that's perpetuated over and over.
And who's allowed to have them, too.
I was just going to say, because I think here in the States we have this misconception that there are just no guns on the entire island of Australia. I mean, are there?
No, there's not no guns. In fact, they actually have more guns now than they did before the massacre. But the way that their licensing is set up there, and they have gun buybacks for illegal guns, but they're the same amount of guns, legal.
And they have a huge issue, though, with illegal guns getting smuggled into the country. So you also have that level of it as well, you know, where you have, you know, people registering, buying their guns correctly. We're talking handguns, shotguns, you know, all that rifles.
It's, as they say, they have very porous borders. It's a large island, and only about, I think, 1 to 2% of their shipping containers that come into Australia are actually searched. So drugs, guns, and what they're saying is, you know, well over 70–80% of their violent gun crime is committed with illegal weapons, while legal gun owners are held to much higher standards than they are here in the United States. The gun owner is licensed, not the gun.
Right.
It's about you can't buy a gun unless you are deemed proper and you have a reason. And no reason, one of the reasons it's not acceptable in Australia that you'll find out is self-defense. It's not a legitimate reason in Australia to own a gun.
Yeah, even gun owners down there don't really, they feel more guns for sports and that kind of thing rather than a self-defense. They kind of look at us cross-eyed going, well, how's a gun going to protect you? It's not, I mean, you know, anything can happen to you. A gun's not the be-all, end-all of self-defense.
Totally different paradigm than we have here in the U.S. We're going to have to tune in. I can't wait to see it so we can learn a thing or two, because I have Aussie family. So.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Tyrel, Ventura, Tabetha Wallace.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.